All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, welcome, welcome. We have a long day of Heroes of Newerth ahead of us. I'm Zyori, joining me is Min, and you are tuning into the Malaysian Han National Championship. A lot of cash on the line. Of course, this is one of the land qualifiers, and we have the first match of the day about to get underway. We do have DoMI versus E, a.k.a. DoMI versus MUFC. I'm going to be joined by Min. How are you today, my friend?
Yeah, kind of good. Start off for the morning and such a great game to see for the first day.
Yes.
Yes, for the first match of the day.
Yes, it certainly should be a good one. I was sort of surprised to see that MUFC and E are one and the same. So that was a nice surprise. I don't know too much about our Legion team Dominators, as it may be. But we'll see what they have in store. Hopefully they'll be worthy adversaries. But a best-of-1 series to start us off today, ladies and gentlemen. So, Min, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, I do just want to point out a couple of important changes. Most notably, we've got a few new faces around tournament mode. Artillery, Blitz, Gunblade, and Kinesis have all been officially added to tournament mode. Any thoughts
Yes.
about that before we get into the picks and bans coming out here?
For me, I don't really think there's much issue about those heroes. Besides, they are not really very important. As in, yeah, I mean, okay, in my thoughts, okay, Gunblade is quite a strong carry, and I'm not sure if this competitive team will actually take Gunblade into the competitive scene, because there are much more carries. I mean, potential carry heroes out there that can actually out farm or even stronger than Gunblade pickup. Yeah, so to me, I think it's not really much of an issue.
Yeah, I would actually tend to agree with you, sir. And I don't really think that they're going to be picked up too much. I'll be surprised. Maybe some of these teams will pull one of them out. I think Kinesis may be one that she can take over a solo lane pretty well, kind of in that 2-1-2 setup. You know, might be able to see Kinesis a little bit. I kind of agree. Gunblade, Artillery, and Blitz don't bring as much to the table as a lot of other heroes that are still popular in the pool. So, no lock picking here today. It is indeed banning picks. So a little bit of a throwback here. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the bans here. DoMI going to start us off with the first ban on Jeremiah, followed by Tempest, Magebane, Magnus, Polywog Priest, Pebbles, Torturer, and the Dark Lady. Min, any thoughts about those bans?
Yeah, quite normal bands, nothing that really shock us. Yeah, it's like pretty much go with the flow bands.
A very good way to put it, my friend. Oh, you're exactly right, though. Nothing jumping out at me too much. Just sort of interesting that we see both Magebane and Dark Lady making it through the banning pool. And here we go into the picks. Looks like first pick going to be Bubbles over here, Draconis and Meraxis. Still glad to see Meraxis getting some love, but Draconis, of course, a fairly new entrant into tournament rules as well. I'm a big Draconis fan, I have to say. I was a little skeptical, but Blazing Flight is one hell of an escape mechanism.
Yeah, definitely. One, it helps you to escape. Two, it helps you to farm.
Yeah.
So recently, I think the skill got nerfed from, I think, shorter duration.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so I think it helps a little, but it's still pretty strong.
Yes, I
Yeah.
absolutely agree with you. I'm actually going to pull it up really quickly here. The linger time has been decreased from 5 seconds to 4 seconds. So yeah, really not... It's a small nerf. Maybe helps a little bit, but I still think Draconis is a pretty well-rounded hard carry. We're going to see Nymphora and Wretched Hag get picked up here to complement the E, a.k.a. MUFC roster over here on the Legion side. We do have Bubbles, Behemoth, and Aluna to start things off. 2 more picks to go. And we'll see where they go. It looks like, well, they all had Ophelia right-clicked, though I imagine she may fit into this roster quite nicely if they choose to pick her up here.
Yeah, that's true. They had a jungle for them, and it's not really bad to pick up Ophelia right here. But if they do, they have to really pick some strong carry hero to actually match up their lineup. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they kind of need to make an executive decision on what they want to do with this roster. Right now, they've got a nice, well-rounded team. They've got some anti-push. They've got some nice creep clearing potential. They've got their supports, but they're either going to have to go kind of the hard carry route, someone to combat the carry effort or combat the carry efforts of Draconis, or they're going to have to go for maybe more of an early game kind of a team, early mid game, maybe get some pushing mixed in there. So naturally, these last two picks are going to be very important. Drunken Master Flux going to be the two right-clicked. Flux going to be the one chosen. And we'll see if Drunken Master actually gets mixed in, which would be pretty interesting. Last I checked, he actually was not so strong. And, well, there it is. Doesn't matter because it's going to be a Forsaken Archer. Looks like they're going to take the latter of the two and, well, bring us another ranged carry to go up against Draconis.
Yeah, that's right. So what do you think about Draconis going against Forsaken Archer?
Well, it's an interesting thought. They have some pretty keen similarities. You know, Split Fire and the Ultimate of Draconis both allow them to put out a lot of AoE DPS, and kind of that later game when they have a lot of farm, a lot of attack speed. I actually don't really know who is the harder ultimate carry. One thing I will say, though, is I think Draconis can farm a little bit more effectively. You know, they're most likely going to be setting up double, triple stacks in the jungle, and we'll see Draconis just clear those out so easily in the mid game, and that'll give him a little bit of a farm advantage. So that being said, I think he'll take off a little bit faster than Forsaken Archer, but of course, Forsaken Archer does have a little more utility of that crippling volley as well as piercing arrows, synergizing very nicely with the team they have set up between Flux, Bubbles, and Behemoth with all that AoE. Some pretty keen synergy there as well. So we'll see. Glacius going to be the last pick here for Team MUFC on the Hellborn.
Yeah. So, in my thoughts, for the Legion team, they actually had quite nice AoE and combination stuff like this. But as a carry between Draconis and Forsaken Archer, I will put my bet on Draconis more. Because for Forsaken Archer, for some reason, he does not have the damage, as in auto attack damage. It does not really hurt at all. So Forsaken Archer actually needs to rely on her creeping volley and the piercing arrow to actually make some kills at the start. So yeah, but Draconis is different. He can just use the first skill and the second skill to actually set up kills. Right. Yeah, pretty much that.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. I think Draconis is brings a little more to the table early on in the way of being able to secure those kills, but I guess it'll take maybe a little bit more teamwork for Mr. Potato to really take off here for DoMI. So we'll see. I still actually haven't had the privilege of casting too much Draconis. I think I've only casted a couple of games with him since, as I mentioned, he's still kind of new to the competitive scene via tournament rules. So it should be interesting. Looks like a tri-lane setting up here for our Legion team. DoMI going to run Behemoth, Forsaken Archer, and Aluna up to the top lane. That does leave us a solo Flux in the mid lane down here in the bottom. Will leave us with a close lane solo Bubbles. Looks like our Hellborn side doing something similar. Wretched Hag going to be in the bottom. Going to be a Miraxis going up against that Flux. And the defensive tri-lane in the top is going to be Draconis, Glacius, and Nymphora. I don't know if we can get much more defensive than that. I reckon just, this Draconis will have a pretty easy time farming up here in the top. Yeah, that's right. Because I think because of maybe the main reason, two supports with range and versus one Minotaur Behemoth, which is a melee, and a Luna, which is a range. So maybe they had advantage based on 3 range in one lane. Yep. That's a good thing to point out as well. Looking at stun potential, of course, we do have the sure stun from Glacius and Nymphora's Zeal to follow up. Behemoth, you know, like you said, although he is a melee, does make the tri-lane a little more difficult as far as lane control. That Fissure does bring some added utility. A lot of burst potential here for this Legion side. They've got triple stun between the 3 of them, and they've got a lot of magic burst as well between the crippling volley, the power throw, as well as the stun from Aluna. We'll see. Behemoth not going to do anything too crazy to start it off. Thought he might hide and get a crafty Fissure. There's a little spot in the trees over here. Well, you can't see, my friend, but there's a spot over here you can hide to try and set up some early kills. Regardless, looks like I imagine it'll be sort of a slow game in the way of kills to start things off. This tri-lane on tri-lane seems fairly passive to start out.
Yep. So I think more action will be appearing on the top lane compared to other lanes, because it depends on who made the first mistake first. So it's like, okay, if Behemoth is able to block any one of them from the path, then yeah, the mistake goes to the Hellborn. So if anyone gets stunned by the Hellborn team, so if anyone gets stunned on the Legion team, then they make the mistake. So it's like, who makes the mistake first?
Absolutely.
I mean,
That's
yeah.
a really good thing to point out. Right now, the big problem for this Legion team is just simply lane control. I mean, they've got the ward down, but they're just not in a position to really do much. I mean, Behemoth is looking for opportunities, but it's kind of hard to block them out when they're sitting on the tower. One thing I would like to point out down here in this bottom lane is that the opening build from Bubbles is sort of interesting for, I mean, I guess he's not really suicide, but a solo heads up here. I like the Wretched Hag build a little bit more, starting with the Ring of the Teacher right away. You start with that Guardian Ring and just pick up the Scarab right away. Unfortunately, Bubbles now, he's not going to win that harass battle. If you just look at the base armor difference, it makes a huge difference. And Hag should have a fairly easy time looking at the creep scores. 7-5 for Wretched Hag, 3-4 for Bubbles. So it would seem that, well, the item choices may be having a slight impact there. We'll see, though. Makes me a little nervous. In the mid lane, looks like things fairly even. Flux sitting at 12-5 here, with Meraxis sitting 9-3. So Flux slightly ahead. Actually, a very, very strong solo hero. Very passive start, though.
Yeah, keeps pulling you and pushing you. Either way. Yeah.
So, up in the tri lane here, at least. Pardon me. Bubbles down here in the bottom, going to take a bit of harassment. This is sort of what I was talking about. Hag's going to be able to do that all day, every day. That armor difference is so huge just early on. Only 3 armor for Bubbles is 16% reduction for Hag. She's at 25%. That really does make a significant difference, especially when you're in a heads-up lane like this. You don't have a lane partner to help support you, and I think we're going to see Bubbles continue to struggle down here as Hag is racking up the kills. Actually, the leading farmer in this game at the moment, sitting 14-6, tied with Flux. So, we'll see. Lane controls come back for this Legion tri-lane in the top lane. I imagine Behemoth will be looking for those opportunities. I don't believe Blazing Flight will allow Draconis to fly over the fissure. So although we were talking about how great Blazing Flight is as an escape mechanism for Draconis, it seems Behemoth may pose a little bit of a hard counter to that, at least kind of in this tri-lane on tri-lane situation. I would have thought this Legion tri-lane, though, would be a little bit more aggressive, maybe at least use some of that mana. I mean, they've all been sitting at full mana this entire time. I don't know. I mean, you sort of you got to do something. You got to harass them down a little bit. You got to chip away, and that's how you're going to set up those kills. Sitting around at full mana, it's going to be a little bit more tricky to set these up. So a little bit disappointed. We haven't seen too much harassment action really from either side, but I guess both sides happy sitting back and just farming away with their hard carries.
Yeah, at least like what you have just said, Luna should do some attempt power throws to actually harass the Legions. I mean, the Hellborn team. That Behemoth can actually set up some kills like blocks. At least attempt them like right now, but I think it's not a successful one. So, yeah, so at least do some power throws, like bring their HP down by a bit, and not like keeping your mana forever.
Absolutely. Well, and right now, I mean, they've got a Ring of the Teacher, they've got some passive mana regen. The whole point is to use some of that mana so that you can regenerate. You know, when you're sitting at full mana, that's a lot of wasted potential on your items. You're not getting full value for the investments that you've made. So, just a small blunder here from Team Dominators. Again, we'll see. Eventually, some action will come about. No doubt. Up here at the top, let's see how Forsaken Archer and Draconis are faring. Draconis actually way ahead. 17-6 there for the Dragon. Forsaken Archer sitting only 9-4, so she's struggling a little bit with the early farm. We'll see how that reflects on the GPM chart. Yeah, that's kind of 3 victorious lanes, if you will, or at least 2 victorious lanes and a break-even. Farms in the mid looking fairly even. This Legion team needs to do something, man. They need to set up some kills. They need to move around. They're starting to fall behind. These static lanes so far going in favor of MUFC. I imagine DoMI will be looking to set something up in the near future, and there you have it. We're going to see some roaming action. Behemoth and Luna going to be moving towards the mid. Down in the bottom, Wretched Hag may be able to set something up. I imagine a Haunt's going to come out here. There's the take cover. That's going to be the end of Bubbles. First blood going to come out for Wretched Hag.
Yeah, so really 2 lanes dominated by the Hellborn team. So they had to set up something, like actually something right now.
Yeah, you're right. And the scary part right here is not only has Wretched Hag now picked up that bonus gold way ahead on the GPM chart, but I think the scarier part is how far behind Bubbles is. Look at his inventory. He's got a bottle, and that's about it besides his starting items. Hag has now been able to pick up her Steam Boots raw creep score. Yeah, 31-17 to 8-7 of Bubbles. A huge difference there, and we're going to see this Wretched Hag be a scary carry in this game. I mean, she's going to take off way before any of the other carries in this game. A little bit of harassment coming on to Flux in the mid, but he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, so looks like they are roaming to middle lane to actually catch Flux.
Looks like they're going to try and set something up. We'll see if they're going to be able to do it. Doesn't look like he's got vision. He's going to push up arguably a little bit too far. Miraxis is going to go straight in. Miraxis is already level 6. He's going to have that ultimate for all that additional damage. It's going to be an easy kill. Really not much Mr. N can do. And I think actually Glacier... Oh, no, pardon me. That's going to be Miraxis who picks up that last hit. So now 2-0 in favor of MUFC, a.k.a. Team E, in the brackets. Down here in the bottom lane, Wretched Hag going to take some tower shots. Going to pop the potion. We'll see what Bubbles does here. He has absolutely no regen. That's an empty bottle. He's got plenty of mana, though. Kelpfield going to pop up, and we'll see what happens. He's going to be stuck behind the tower. Unfortunately, Hag doesn't have a lot of mana to work with here. Going to be sitting on the Intellect Steam Boots. May be able to pop in. She has enough mana for a... she does have enough for a haunt, so we'll keep tabs on this bottom lane. Same story, different chapter, though. Although Bubbles is alive for now, still just continuing to fall behind in that farm. Still only 8-7 on the creep score.
Yeah, he's doing very badly right here.
Oh, is that going to be some action up in the top lane? Luna going to take a little bit of harassment, sitting level 4. He's going to be able to survive to tell the tale. Looks like Forsaken Archer still struggling a little bit in the last hits as well. 22-12 to the 34-10 Draconis. Really just kind of victory all across the boards here. Again, Flux kind of the only one on par for Team DoMI. Unfortunately, though, that kill he did suffer in the mid lane going to set him back a little bit. And wow, that GPM chart's a little bit scary here. Only 8 minutes in, but already starting to look fairly one-sided here.
Yeah, that's right. So, like you said, they should either they kill someone from the top lane. Oh, there's an initiation going on, and Luna might be dropped here by Draconis. Yeah, so it's a nice block coming from Beamer, but not being able to follow up. So yeah, like what I said just now, they should at least kill someone from the top, or not just roam to other lane and assist the other lanes. So it's no point you can't kill and you just keep staying at the top lane doing nothing. And Draconis is still farming when you have 3 at top. Yeah, that's kind of pointless actually.
Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, just looking at these tri-lanes, and well, pardon me, did miss a kill in the bottom lane onto Bubbles. Looks like Wretched Hag going to be the proud recipient of yet another kill up in the top. The tri-lane's going to get a bit aggressive here, and 4 going to be in a little bit of trouble. She's going to be able to survive. Draconis going to go in, and that's going to be into Forsaken Archer. And yep, another easy kill here for Team E over on the Hellborn side, sending 5-0 in the lead here, just about 10 minutes in to game number 1 of this best-of-1 series here in the round of 32. In the grand scheme of things, though, this tri-lane, I would kind of coin the Legion tri-lane as a little bit more of a killer tri-lane. They've got the triple stun, they can set up those kills, and they haven't been able to do it. It's sort of a shame that what I would consider the defensive tri-lane on the Hellborn side, able to pick up some of these kills. It's just bad news bears for the Legion. And with that comes kind of the need to rotate these lanes. I mean, Bubbles, he is so far behind at this point, you might as well just have him roam around, try and support the other lanes. Maybe send Forsaken Archer down to the bottom to pick up some solo farm, because this tri-lane is just simply not working. Forsaken Archer sitting 0-1-0, no assists, no kills, but only 25 creep kills. Not where he needs to be right now. 165 GPM, certainly below par. Wretched Hag now pushing almost 400 GPM, only 10 minutes in. Practically free farming here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, I have the same thought as you. I mean, Bubble should actually run to top since he's already 6, and definitely they will be able to set up more opportunities with Bubbles going top. I mean, yeah, instead of just staying at bottom lane, and Wretched Hag is also, he can't control Wretched Hag at all. Yeah, why make yourself useful at other lanes if you lost yours.
Yeah. Well, and part of the problem with that, this is going to these situations where it's kind of easier said than done. Right now, Bubbles has virtually no income. Hag has so much more attack damage right now, sitting 91-99. Bubbles 63-68. So now it's really just a matter of can he even score those last hits. All the while in the top lane, though, we're going to see some initiation. The power throw from a Luna going to get him 4 low. Not going to be enough for a kill. They're going to be able to turn it around, and a Luna going to fall. That's going to be 6-0 now in favor of Team E, aka MUFC, over on the Hellborn side. Same story, different chapter, man. I think we've already stated our advice pretty clearly. You and I are on the same page, it doesn't seem. Our Legion team wants to adapt. Wretched Hag gonna come in. That's gonna be the end of Mr. Potato. A very easy kill for Davichi there. This top tower finally gonna take a little bit of pressure as Draconis gets in a couple of auto attacks. Gonna see a port come up. Looks like it's gonna be a Luna. I don't know what she's gonna be able to do though, sitting only level 4. Very underleveled from that tri-lane. Even Draconis now making a recovery in the wave experience, sitting level 7. As we see Glacius and Nymphora have left the lane to let him pick up some of that solo XP. He's got his Ghost Marchers, as well as that Life Tube and some Mystic Vestments. Draconis is having a hell of a start for this game. And he's going to get out of control pretty quick, sitting 3-0-1, only 12 minutes in. Quite the feat.
Yeah. Right now the game seems very one-sided already. And so do you think they still have a chance to recover?
Well, it's hard to say. Right now, I wouldn't say it's over yet, but they're getting there. It's going to be over if they don't adjust these lanes, and that's really what it's going to come down to. Behemoth going to come into the mid. He's going to throw a stun. Hopefully, where's the fissure? There it is. Hag going to be caught on the wrong side. And, yeah, not enough for a kill, unfortunately. That's not what I'm talking about by adjusting these lanes, but they have brought Bubbles top. They have taken Forsaken Archer bottom. The issue is it too little, too late? Forsaken Archer only level 5. I think they needed to react a lot more quickly to these failed lanes. Looking at that XP per minute chart, the gold per minute chart, looking a little dismal. They've got 3 heroes under that 100 GPM mark. And their highest GPM player is Flux, sitting only at 200 right now. I don't know, man. That is bad news, Bears, if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it's definitely bad. I mean, it's not much of a use. I mean, for this kind of lineup, they picked Flux to actually, oh, there's a initiation coming, but I'm piercing arrow casted by Forsaken Archer and not be able to take down anyone. And Moraxus actually turn it back and go against Bubbles, but not be able to kill him. And Wretched Hag will come out and finish off Bubbles, but Moraxus in big trouble, being big trapped by Behemoth. But that's, oh, doesn't matter, be able to take him down. Yeah, so like what I said just now, Flux actually, they picked Flux to actually, I mean, it's part of their strategy, and he actually has the highest GPM in this game. I mean, for the Legion team. So it's a bit kind of off. I mean, I think so. So it's not pretty much useful for him to like be able to be at least farmed up to 200 GPM. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 200 GPM is just not a very high benchmark. And you see, we saw that tier 1 tower in the top lane fall, and it looks like this tier 2 may very well fall also. They're pressuring hard. They've still got the Hell Cannon. And we'll see. At the very least, they may get this bad boy into deny range. You're going to see some creep clearing. There's that blazing flight clearing the creeps pretty damn quick. A fresh wave of creeps, and God, look at that pushing power from Nymphora. They've got a Ring of the Teacher turned on as well. Yep, that's going to be a tier 2 tower kill. Easy peasy, nothing about it. I was going to say not a bad 1-for-1 exchange in the bottom lane for our Legion side, but really in the end they had to sacrifice 2 tier 2 towers. They didn't have the ports up to defend at the top, and that is a damn shame. The tier 1 may be a worthy sacrifice, but the tier 2, only 15 minutes in, you gotta check that. You can't hand that free gold over to Draconis and Wretched Hag at this state in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you like, for example, you want to engage and you lose 2 towers, so, and the 2 towers actually goes to their carries, so it's pretty much bad as you pretty lost the game. Yeah, so actually you should think wise. I mean, if you want to TP, then you have to look at the top lane, and if it's wise to actually go down. Yeah.
Absolutely right. So it was nice they were able to get a kill on the board, but yeah, the tier 1 in the bottom lane gonna fall. And one of the biggest problems the Legion team's having now is just the under-leveled support. So Luna still sitting level 5, Behemoth still sitting level 5. Those are key heroes that bring pivotal ultimates to the success of their team. You know, Luna is a very powerful hero for an array of reasons, but one of those reasons is her global presence, which is non-existent until that level 6 mark. So really, until now, Luna really hasn't been able to do a whole lot in this game. Sort of a same story, different chapter with Behemoth. Going to see some more initiation here. Behemoth looking like he may get taken out before the fight even starts. Going to be able to get away. No, not quite. The Bat Blast going to be enough to take him out. That's going to be the first kill of this fight. Hag going to blink away. Moraxus going to go in. He's got that portal key, and he's going to show it off. A lot of low heroes here. Draconis going to go in. That's going to be the end of Forsaken Archer. Bubble's going to be in some trouble. He's going to fall. Flux is going to fall shortly after, and that's going to be a 4-for-0 exchange. Luna, the only one left alive, with only about 100 hit points to spare. That is just domination by definition, I think. MUFC in great position to take the first game of the day here, a best-of-1 series here in the round of 32. 16 minutes in, we've got a 16K gold lead, 10K experience. All of the Tier 1 outer towers are remaining, only 2 left before the base becomes under siege.
Yeah, it's pretty much, they have a, in a very good position right now, and they can just win anytime. I mean, just based on the level advantage they have, I mean, yeah. And both Draconis and Wretched Hag sitting at 400 plus GPM, so yeah, really great position for them.
Yeah, it's always good to see. I guess really anyone over 400 GPM, but Wretched Hag in particular is scary. She's sitting with about 2,600 gold in the bank. That's going to be a Hellflower in a pretty timely manner here. Looking at the inventories of the Legion side, we see Bubbles still without boots, Aluna without boots as well, Flux sitting on red boots, desperately trying to pull up enough gold to finish those Ghost Marchers. Yeah, I think the inventories amongst plenty of other statistics in this game could really paint an accurate picture as to how this game has been going. God, poor Aluna, man. She's got a Blood Chalice, and that's about it. That is really bad news bears. One thing I will say about this Legion side, though, is the ward coverage is really spot on. They've got one up here by the Ancients. They've got one here in the high ground at the entrance to their jungle, and of course here kind of around the Kongor pit, if you will, at that bottom rune. So they do have a pretty wide array of rune coverage, as well as just entryways on lockdown. Unfortunately, it doesn't really matter. Even if they know where the Hellborn side is, they still can't really go toe-to-toe with them in a fight. Wretched Hag poking her nose down here around this tier 2 tower. Nymphora gonna blink, or poured in with that ultimate, pardon me, teleport. Very creative name for the Nymphora ultimate. Gonna bring Meraxes down here, though. They're gonna hide in the trees. Meraxes, of course, with that portal key, as we aforementioned, could make something happen down here. Behemoth still level 5, and uh-oh, Flux going to walk in and Nymphora. This could be rough stuff. What's going to happen? Meraxes going to blink straight in. He's going to pop the ultimate. Wretched Hag going to come in. That's a big bypass. Not going to do a lot of damage here. Flux going to fall. We're going to see Jude get taken out as well. It's going to be 3 easy kills, and it looks like the only one to fall is going to be Wretched Hag. Unfortunately, a bit of an overcommitment, but it doesn't matter. A very convincing team fight here for MUFC yet again. Behemoth, one hit from death. The axe misses. The second chainsaw misses, but it doesn't matter. He's going to be able to PK forward and pick up that kill. Bubbles, the lone survivor. I have a feeling this tier 2 tower may become under heavy siege here momentarily. Glacius going to go in. He's going to do a bit of damage. Meraxes is just going to dive the tower. He's going to have that PK up. He's going to get straight in. There's the stun. Aluna may fall as well. She's going to port into kind of the worst position possible. The Arcane Shield going to be used. Not going to mitigate anything, but it doesn't matter. The freeze is going to be enough, and that's an Annihilation coming out. Merax is going to be the one to pick up every single last hit, all the while Draconis pressuring that top tier 3 tower. That is domination, man.
Yes, domination. Totally. Yeah, so it looks like Meraxes is also overfarmed instead of just Wretched Hag and Draconis. So yeah. And it's 20k gold lead and 15k gold, experience lead. So it's really hard for the Legion team right now.
Yep, you know, I hate to call a game too early or be one of those guys trying to be positive here, but this one's feeling pretty rough. If the deficit is exceeding 1k gold per minute of game time, it's really that's kind of insurmountable at this point. 20k gold again. Just looking at the inventories, yeah, amongst some other things, kind of spills out the way this game is. The Null Stone here for Draconis, as you pointed out, quite a bit of gold in the bank. Clearing those double stacks in the jungle, that's what I was talking about. One of the things about Draconis, even if this game was a little more even, one of the things that makes him so scary is his ability to clear that jungle just so quickly. Especially once he gets the Null Stone up in that mana pool a little bit, get some of that regeneration going on, he's going to be able to clear this stuff no problem. And, well, just continue boosting that farm. Meraxes sitting 7-1, Draconis 5-0-3, Glacius here sitting 0-0-9. Leading the way in assists with flying colors. I guess Glacius here has been having a hell of a game. We haven't really talked about Flawless too much, but he has now picked up a portal key of his own. That is one pimped out Glacius if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, like if we see Glacius to be able to pick up portal key in competitive scene, I mean, it means that, yeah, the support is too overformed. Oh, looks like there's an engage coming out mid, and we'll be able to take down Bubbles with the assist of Nymphora. And the kill goes to Mischyz. Yeah, so
A very easy kill right there. Nothing to it. I do like that Mischyz and Nymphora have been very active with that ultimate. We have seen the Mischyz Nymphora combo quite a bit. It can be a deadly lane combo in this game, not a lane combo, but a deadly duo kind of at every stage of the match, and it's nice to see Nymphora utilizing the teleport capability. Certainly one of many things that makes Nymphora a scary hero. Double damage on Mischyz. He's going to be packing quite the punch. It looks like one of the last Tier 2 towers remaining may fall here in the mid lane. No defense coming out from Team Dominators. They're just going to sit back and, well, get ready to pose a defense at the Tier 3, which I think is the smart choice here. Now, we can't forget there is a lot of ultimate AoE magic damage synergy amongst this Legion team, as we mentioned. Maybe a little bit too late at this point, but they still do have some turtle potential here. Behemoth, one of the best turtlers in the game. The Fissure and the Shockwave really just, well, just great for defending those big pushes. If you get a big Shockwave off, you never know. That could be sort of the gateway into a successful team fight for this Legion side. That level disadvantage, though. The level 1 ultimate for Behemoth, while we see two heroes getting close to that dreaded level 16 mark, well, just nullifies some of the effectiveness of that Shockwave damage.
Yeah, yes, they still have the percentage to turtle. I mean, like, they still have their ultimates and it's quite powerful. So actually, Hellborn team should not underestimate it. But Wretched Hag has a Hellflower and Draconis has already a Shrunken Head. So it's not much of a big impact unless you don't make any mistakes like that. Yeah, Behemoth does not have his PK, so it's not so dangerous after all. Yeah. So it looks like Draconis is diving in straight.
Yeah, Draconis, man, he ain't afraid of no ghosts. He is going straight in, and he is going to scare back the whole team. The entire Legion side going to run back to the well from a shrunken-headed Draconis here, and it's already starting off on kind of a bad foot. Flux going to get taken out before he can even ulti. And that's going to be sort of the saving grace for MUFC here. I was a little worried Flux may ult them into the well, but yeah, that is not going to be the case here. We're going to see a champion, a newer streak here coming out for Mischyz. Wow, that is just complete massacre territory here. The Tier 3 tower, of course, going to start taking heavy damage. Looks like a 3-for-0 exchange. 22-2 now the overall kill score in favor of Team E on the Hellborn side. As we've said many a time so far in this game, just sheer domination. Some wards of Rev and Sight here sitting in the base. I'm not sure whose they are. I don't know if they were a gift from the Hellborn side or if they're a gift from the Legion side, but they are on the ground nonetheless. Looks like they are in the hands of Team Dominator. You're going to see Draconis do kind of the same thing here. Go straight in, taking a lot of tower damage, though. Needs to be a little bit careful here. And our tower going to shift focus. Draconis making me nervous. There's going to be the Fissure coming out, waiting for that follow-up. Flux is now up, still waiting for that ultimate. He's only level 10, so it's only level 1 ulti, but still just waiting for the opportunity here for that discharge to pull the Hellborn side into a rough position. The Tier 3 tower getting dangerously low. It's going to fall. Nope, Glyph going to be used. Going to delay the inevitable a few moments longer here. We'll see the Legion team. They're all up. They want to do something. They need to do something. They need to post this one last-ditch effort as their racks are about to fall. Looks like Bubbles may go in. Nope, we gotta throw the Shell Surf, but not gonna take it. There's the Flux ulti. Where's the follow-up? I'm not seeing it. The Shrunken Head's gonna come out. Looks like it's just gonna be a Massacre. Bloodbath gonna come out. No kills coming. Oh, pardon me, they do finish off Nymphora, but at what cost right there? Looks like it's gonna be their entire team. Yep, that's gonna be the clean sweep. A 1-for-5 exchange. The Genocide coming out, and I imagine we're moments here from a concede in game number 1 of this best-of-1 series.
Yeah. I did not expect it to be so one-sided. I mean, at least there's a fight. I mean, they got a really pretty decent lineup, and yeah, so I didn't know why such things happen.
Well, I think it all goes back to that tri-lane in the top, picking those aggressive heroes, but just not using them aggressively. I pointed out not using that mana. That's sort of the key to an aggressive tri-lane. You're never going to have those kill situations, those opportunities to finish people off if you never harass them down, if you never throw that crippling volley. What's that saying where you're never going to land those big hooks if you never throw them to begin with? You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Plenty of cliches we can throw in here. As the domination continues, looks like we're going to see 3 kills in exchange for 0. here in the mid lane. A little bit of defense pose, maybe enough to scare back Team MUFC. That will buy Team Dominators a little bit of more time here. But I think just delaying the inevitable at this point. I can't think of any more good cliches, but Wayne Gretzky said it best. You miss 100% of shots you don't take, man.
Yeah, and I kind of like of Draconis the way he play. I mean, they know. I think he realized that they have certain potentials, and he just dive in like this and don't give them any chance to actually set up something. Yeah, so it's actually quite good play by Draconis down there.
Yes, Draconis kind of going balls to the wall, so to speak. He's got plenty of gold to throw around here. He's now picked up a Frostburn, so he's got his orb effect. He is an attack modifier, if you will. Behemoth, oh no, man, you're walking into the danger zone. That's going to be a free kill. Down he goes. Mr. Lost Guy, looks like you need to pick up a roadmap, my friend. That is not the way to victory.
Maybe he's really lost. He's finding his way.
Yeah, look, it must be. Not sure what he was doing up there. Maybe, I guess he was planting wards, actually. Yeah, it looks like he did do a little bit of counter warding. So as I aforementioned, the Legion side, despite being really pushed up against a wall here, the ward coverage continues to be top-notch. Looks like a little bit of counter warding from Nymphora going to come out here, but wards all over the place, which is still good to see. Definitely, you know, a positive takeaway from this game. Of course, you know, in tournaments such as this, qualifiers for big tournaments, you do sort of expect the early rounds to be a little bit one-sided, as you said. Maybe not this one-sided, but you know, maybe not the most surprising thing we'll see all night. So we're going to see this tier 3 tower in the mid get taken out here, and of course that does mean the mid lane of Rax are exposed. I imagine the glyph is probably up again, and we're going to see some initiation here. They're going to go straight in. All the ulti is going to be used. That's the bloodbath streak continuing for Meraxis. He is completely dominating, and that's going to be a 4-for-0 exchange here. Only one hero left, and sorry, Behemoth, you're going to come back and get taken out yet again. Hat trick going to come out for Draconis. Complete clean sweep, 5-for-0. And that should be the icing on the cake again. Hate to call it before the concede vote comes out, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's pretty much over. I mean, yeah, maybe probably they want to just to play on. I mean, yeah.
A noble effort. Looks like MUFC, though, not going to push for the win. They probably could have just pushed up and finished off these 2 base towers, but they're going to play it safe. They're going to go to the top lane and just secure the super creeps, which is, you know, you can't complain playing it safe, but this is probably one of these scenarios where they could really just brute force their way to victory.
Yeah, they should just just go straight for the tower and just end the game. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but they will do that for us here. Let's take a look, just kind of for kicks and giggles, the hero damage breakdown, and Draconis leading the way with flying colors. 23% of the overall hero damage. Wretched Hag and Meraxis nipping at his heels here with 16 and 18 respectively. But wow, that is just damn impressive. We're going to see the onslaught continue again. Legion team being chased back into the well. Draconis going to dive the well. There's a fissure. That's going to be the end of Draconis. And it looks like they're going to be able to pick up a kill on the Nymphora as well, so maybe a bit of overcommitment from MUFC, but yeah, the last remaining racks do fall. The Mega Creep's going to push in, and we'll see these towers fall kind of momentarily here. Archer going to push out. Wretched Hag, though, she's back in action, and there's so much damage coming out for Second Archer. Oh no, gonna bring Meraxis into the well. That'll be it, Meraxis. And Draconis, need to be careful, buddy. That well does a lot of damage. Fire Bush gonna take you down. Looks like it doesn't matter though. The Genocide gonna come out. Bubble's gonna pop back up. Finally, the well, base tower is gonna take some damage. The GG well plates come out. And a surprisingly lengthy game number 1, given how one-sided it was. Both you can see does, however, pass. And looks like we'll be moving on shortly.
Yeah.
So, not a bad first game. Of course, I'm Zyori, with me was Min, and you are enjoying one of the qualifiers for the Malaysian Han Championship. 500K on the line. This is but one of the LAN qualifiers. Team MUFC, they are listed as Team E in the brackets. They're going to be moving on from the round of 32. All best of 1 till we make it to the finals, and of course, they will be a best of 3. That's going to wrap it up for game number 1, though. Min, do you have any closing statements, thoughts? I think we kind of covered it in that game.
Yeah, Yes, that's right. So pretty much all covered, and they should really, yeah, kind of mistakes here and there. Yeah.
Yep. Very true indeed, good sir. So, well, we're going to queue up some tunes, guys. We're going to have, well, the next game of the day coming up whenever it's ready. Sit tight. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back.